Just a brief chat about fork springs. A 40-year-old motorbike has been on the ground for 40 years, so therefore the springs have been compressed for 40 years. This bike's probably got the original fork springs in it, and it's probably on the original steering head bearings, and it's probably got the original fork seals in it with the original fork coil. So is originality a good thing? No, not always. I've got to change the fork springs in this one because they're the original fork springs, and although it's been up on a stand on the back for long periods, the front wheel's always been on the ground. And we don't often think when we rebuild forks to actually replace the springs. We do the seals and the oil and other checks, but I suppose because the springs are more expensive in the £100 plus bracket, they rarely get replaced. With wheels, when was the last time you put your bike up in the air and spun the wheels by hand, just to check if there's anything like binding brakes or anything slowing the wheel down? I know when they sit and the tyres lose pressure and you can feel it difficult to roll around the driveway or your garden or your garage, but if you've got the correct air pressure, then really you need to get your bike up in the air and spin both wheels and see what's actually going on, because all brake caliper pistons seize eventually if they sit long enough. So put your bike in the air, don't start it up, just spin that wheel with one hand and just see if there's any resistance or any noises, and grab the wheel at the top and bottom, 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and give it a wiggle and see if you've got any side to side movement. Another thing is shock absorbers, which is far too long-winded to go into here, but on the back of me 900 I've still got the original Mulholland shock absorbers that were fitted as standard from 1976, which is all well and good until you realise it's 40 odd years old and they're of no use to anybody. So I'm not really a big fan on originality because it just costs so much money to sort out. To get those rebuilt, it's in the £500 bracket, and it really needs some decent shock absorbers on there, and they're going to set me back probably 250, 350, 500, 1000, and then it loses its originality. So bear it in mind if you're thinking about buying, because it's a lot to take into consideration. Originality is not always best, and they end up getting modified for practicality. Anyway, something to think about. See you later.